everybody. Hi, welcome KCIW listeners to 100.7 and KCIW.org, Brookings, Oregon. Yes, it's a brand new day, never been lived before. I welcome you to Joyously Free with me, none better than Joanie Lindenmeyer. I'm the author of 3 books and a resident of Harbor, Oregon for the last 34 years. My show today is a radio show, but it's also, as my queer friends say, it's a gadio show. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things, including LGBTQ stories and tips, along with religion, church, faith, and spirituality, and all the ways that is exemplified in our community. From joy to freedom to courage to confidence and collaboration. You know me, I'm a vibrant, joy-filled, great communicator, and I thank you so much for tuning in. The purpose of our show is to share and spread joy and freedom, hence the title, Joyously Free. It is also the title of my second book that I co-authored with Elizabeth Atkins of twosisterswriting.com, and we are proud to boast 32 contributing writers, many from Brookings, Gold Beach, and Crescent City. But everybody we have on our show, we get to hear their version of living their truth. This week will feature my excited belief and hope that there's always God and Jesus in our lives, and that we do not need to be troubled. We do not need to be afraid or saddened. That joy and peace are an internal expression of love and harmony, and we already have that within us. We only have to reach deep and let it out. So, as usual, no hate speech, no hate behaviors, and no bullying. We are going to be courageous and confident, and we'll collaborate. We're going to seek understanding, how to be happy and abundant, and have abundant gratefulness, respect, and appreciation for the nature around us, our friends, our family, and our loving, very kind community right here on the Southern Oregon and Northern California coast. Our special guest is just minutes away from talking, and he is excited. He's got a smile beaming. His eyes are twinkling. And so in just a minute, you'll get to meet him. You will be very, very pleased with our conversation today. But before we do that, let's move into prayer. Hi, Jesus. Hi, God. Hi, Spirit. Let's breathe in through the nose and out with the mouth. Let's breathe in goodness. Let's breathe out doubt. Jesus, help us to breathe in kindness and out with fear. Holy God, help us to breathe in gratitude and gratefulness and out with hate or despair. Our quote today is from a book that I have been reading for many, many years. The author is Sarah Teasdale, and here's the quote. There are so many ways to love, and each one has its own delights. I'm going to repeat that. There are so many ways to love, and each one has its own delights. When I read that the first time this morning, all I could think about and see in my mind were the faces of so many beautiful, kind, and loving people. The ways that they say hello, the ways that they shake your hand or give you a hug, the ways that make you feel that you're a special person. Oh my gosh, I have so many of those friends and people in my life. And all I have to do is just visualize them, see them in my mind, feel them in my heart, and I know they're with me throughout the day. So just always remember that someone is loving you. Somewhere around the globe right now, someone is loving you. So would you believe, everybody, that saying, that quote today, is the theme of our topic? Yes, our topic today is love. What does that mean to you? And like I just said a few minutes ago, our guest speaker, our conversation person today is none better than my good friend, Carlos Moreno. I just love the heck out of this guy. We have so many things in common, including going to St. Tim's Church, but also we've done activities together. We have shared meals together. We've watched movies together. And he is just one special, special guy. Welcome, Carlos.
Thank you.
Oh, my gosh. It is so fun to sit across this plexiglass from you, knowing that we're here and we just get to have a regular, normal conversation. I thank you so much for being here and taking the time to introduce yourself to all the other community people via KCIW.
All right.
How's it feel over there?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. First time in the studio, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Super. Well, you never have to worry about any words because we're just going to chit-chat.
Okay.
Just going to chit-chat. So,
sounds good.
Good. So, Carlos, to introduce yourself to everybody out there, would you just tell us a little bit about who you are and when you came to Brookings?
Okay. I'm Carlos Moreno, of course, and I grew up in San Jose, California, and then lived half my life in Morgan Hill, California.
Uh-huh.
Was raised on a small ranch. We had about 4 horses. During my school years, I fed the horses and the chickens and the peacocks and the dogs and the cats, and it was a pretty good life growing up. I thank my father and my mother. They did such a wonderful job growing up on that ranch. We worked it. We had vegetable garden that we had to dig and
harvest.
Yeah, harvest. And it was all a learning experience, even feeding the horses and knowing what they needed, and the chickens and the goats and the peacocks, and just giving them grain. Growing up as a child, I didn't care for feeding them because I'd get dressed for school and then I'd have all the hay and the grain all over me.
Oh, boy.
Going to school, and I used to have to shake it off, but it was no big deal. I played sports. I played a lot of football and baseball, and I wrestled a little bit, and I tried a few things out, and some of them worked out and some of them didn't. But that's pretty much me.
Sounds like you were never bored.
Oh, no, I was always busy.
Right. Do you have siblings? Do you have brothers and sisters or cousins?
I have older sister, older brother, and a younger brother.
Okay.
And part of the deal of playing sports was I had to ride a bike. Our parents bought us 10 speeds for Christmas, and if they couldn't pick us up, like they were working overtime, they'd say, ride your bike. And it was a pretty far jaunt. It was like 5 miles, and there was like one hill that just used to eat us up, but once you got over the hill, it was all downhill, so that was great. Yeah.
You were in shape.
Oh, yeah.
You were in shape.
Playing football and baseball and riding the bike, man, I was in real good shape. Not only that, my cousins were weightlifters.
Okay.
And so they taught me how to lift weights, and it was the first time I ever heard of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And we used to get Muscle magazine, and I was just astounded at these guys that were so big. My cousins used to have to walk in sideways through the door because they were so big.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're a big guy yourself.
Yeah.
What positions did you play in football and baseball?
I pitched in baseball.
Okay.
And I played first base and sometimes the outfield. But my favorite position was pitching. And then in football, I played linebacker.
Okay.
And I played tight end on the offensive side, and I helped with the kicking team, which was for center, kicking for extra points.
Okay.
And I used to snap the ball.
You're a snapper.
Yeah, my friend.
What do they call it? Long snapper or?
It was both ways, for punting and for short kicks, for punting, extra points.
Cool.
My really good friend was the kicker, so I wanted to make sure he got the ball real quick.
There you go. That's teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more.
Yeah.
I've always thought about that when I see the word team in print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, on my sophomore year, I was centering the ball in practice, and the whole line fell to one side, and my arm was sticking out. And my partner next to me, his knee came down on my elbow.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so that put me out of commission for a while.
Yep. Yes. Sports injuries. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the worst one.
Yeah, and they come out of nowhere, don't they? They literally are sports accidents. You couldn't have planned it. You were probably in the greatest shape ever, but still something went wrong on that particular day.
It was towards the end of practice, and I really felt faint when it happened. I thought I was going to throw up, and my coach got me to the doctor, and they looked at it, and I'd never seen my elbow so big, because it just swelled up, and I was going, dang, I didn't know my arm could get that big.
Right.
I go, maybe I got to lift more weights.
There's an answer for you. Yep. Yep. Oh,
but
my gosh.
I love sports. It was a camaraderie between all the guys and myself. And we were always pulling for each other, trying to help each other out.
Absolutely. And, and isn't that the epitome of love?
Yeah.
Because when you are on a team, you love your teammates like your own literally blood family.
Yeah.
You become so tight. I'm a big sports person too. And in fact, I'm going to tell you a couple jokes here. Okay. The first one is when I grew up as a 4 and 5-year-old growing up in a Catholic family with my family, I was asked to say the grace before meals. And in the Catholic tradition, you say in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Well, at that time, it was in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Okay. But as a little kid, what I said was in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Coach. Amen. Because my dad was a coach. So I thought we were always praying for my dad who was a coach, And then he told me something one day and it's always stuck in my mind. He goes, Joanie, you know that baseball's in the Bible. And I go, it is, Dad? He goes, yeah, in the big inning, not in the beginning, but in the big inning. And so I thought, oh my gosh, my dad was hilarious and I'm the hilarious too. But back to your sports connections, that really does bring out the love for you and your teammates and your coach. And how about with your opponents?
Yeah.
What kind of a sportsmanship or love was happening there? Can you think of anything?
Oh yeah, after the game, shaking hands and what was it like commending or telling the player that really did a lot that he did, complimenting, telling him what a great job he did. You were running. We had a hard time catching up to you,
Yeah.
And the quarterback too. We were trying to always sack him, and it was like he dodged us so much, and it was like, darn, man, you were hard to catch up to,
How nice to say those loving, kind things in the middle. I mean, after the game.
Yeah.
After the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about, I don't know about you, but when I played sports too, and I love sports, I don't know where I learned this or how and maybe it just happened one day. I remember going up to the officials after the game, playing volleyball, and thanking them for officiating the game.
Yeah.
To me, that was a kindness, loving thing. Did you ever do that?
No, I didn't. I should have, when I think about it, because they were trying to do the best job they could to keep it fair.
Right.
And but as I got older, I realized, God, these guys were out there giving it their best and trying to keep us from doing anything that would cause harm to somebody or to how would you say, cheat?
Yeah.
And which was good. It kept us fair. And so we knew that as we played, that it was a fair game and that both teams were trying their best to win.
Right.
And it just we ended up going 8-2, which almost got us into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a good record, 8-2.
Yeah.
Wow.
8 wins. It was sad, and in some ways because we destroyed a couple of homecomings, and bad for them. But unfortunately, we didn't make it all the way too. So,
but you made it that far. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Always trying to be better.
Yeah,
always trying to be better.
And we played some teams. Our how would you say, it wasn't really our enemy, but it was our
rivalry.
Rivalry, yeah.
Rivalry. Okay.
Was the next town over, which was Gilroy, and then also Hollister.
Okay.
And they were called the Hollister Hay Balers.
Okay.
And there were some pretty big guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you think today, looking back at all your sports ways of spreading joy and kindness and love and doing the best you can. Do you think that's carried over to your life as you're a retired bus driver?
Yeah.
Did it carry over? Did anything carry over there, do you think?
Oh, yeah, the bus driving, definitely. As far as I remember how much fun we had on the bus, and the bus driver let us get away with it. We were throwing, we'd pull the tape off our ankles and our arms or wherever and roll it into a ball and try and hit each other with it.
Oh, don't hear that. Don't do that, everybody. That would probably get you kicked off a bus today.
Yeah. Not on my bus.
Not on your bus. So as a bus driver, I bet you knew every person by name or by sight.
Yeah.
And the responsibility. Talk about love.
Yeah, they were, and I got to know a lot of them, and they were so wonderful. I mean, I felt like I was in early retirement.
Oh.
And some of the young ladies would sing me Christmas songs.
Oh,
and
sweet.
I was sitting there going, man, what an angel, And some would give me a hug, and it would just crush my heart. I was going, gosh, how wonderful they are. They don't even know me that well, but they're coming up and giving me a hug while I'm sitting in the seat of the bus.
Oh.
Yeah. And I would tell them, you're a little angel. And I try and give them candy, which we weren't supposed to do every Friday or so. I go, you guys been really good. And I got a treat for you. And so as you get off the bus, I learned, too, that you don't give it to them when they get on the bus. You give it to them when they get off the bus, because you got all these little wrappers laid on the floor.
Right. And you don't want the sugar fix happening on the bus. Yeah.
Well, that was another thing. They said, well, you don't know if that kid's diabetic or what, peanut butter, if there was
allergies.
Allergies, yeah. But I think God was protecting me, because nothing ever happened. And it was funny, even the kids that didn't ride my bus, they remember riding it. They'd come running up and go, you got any candy?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And that's an act of kindness. That's an act of love.
Yes.
Your words as well as the gift of a piece of candy or the hug that the angels gave you. Oh, my gosh, that's incredible. And you've always been helping people, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If I see somebody needing something or wanting something, I try and help them out. I try and tell them the best way of going about it. If it was something I had to do, I would tell them my way of getting out of that situation. Like my friend Tim Gaines, he's having a trouble with his sleeping mattress because he's having to sleep in his car, and his little dog the nails on the dog are popping his mattress.
Oh.
And so I was telling Tim, you need to get a styrofoam mattress. I go, this way you're not going back and forth, trying to get a mattress, because he said he's gone through like 4 of them.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and so I'm going, Tim, but he's a stubborn old guy.
Well, and maybe he needs to have the dog nails clipped.
Yeah, well, that's what he's trying to do. He takes them out to the tennis court, where they're playing pickleball. And he runs on the court, and it files down his nails.
Oh.
So, but that little dog is something else, man.
Wow.
I call him Cujo. Because he's so ornery. You can't get up to his vehicle without him yapping. He's a little chihuahua.
Okay.
And even the people playing pickleball, if their ball goes towards the fence, he's like, and I go, don't you go in there. I go, he'll chew that ball to pieces.
Yeah. I haven't seen Tim and his dog up there at the pickleball course, but I'll be on the outlook for it now. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But back to you, you're always helping people. I remember one time you and I were on a project and we loaded up your truck, and you were so gracious, first off, to loan that to us to use so we could transport boxes and containers of food down to the Methodist Church in Crescent City so that they could use it for soup suppers that they're doing. And the work involved with us doing that, you were so kind and such a great attitude. And it was a way of, again, expressing love and kindness, And then I think we came back with some other stuff from another organization, and so we were doing this trading off of food to make sure it gets to the people that need the food.
Yeah.
Needs the food.
I had a rough day that day. I mean, I had my diabetes was kicking in, and it makes it rough. You know, I feel like I didn't do much because of the diabetes, and now I feel so much better.
You did a ton, even though you were having an off day. Yeah. But you're feeling better now?
Oh, yeah. It's almost gone. It's like only my ankles, and it's from when my ankles swell a little bit. It gets tight around there. And for a while there, it wasn't letting me sleep. But they told me, keep taking the medicine, because I had to go to the hospital because my leg was swelling. And he said, you're not taking your hypertension medicine. That's mine. And so I started taking the medicine, and sure enough, the swelling started going down.
Good.
Yeah, so I said, like you told me the other day, I'm starting to run out of my pills, and I'm going to have to go to Darcy to get some more medicine.
Right.
So, yeah. And because when I saw I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, we don't have to talk about your personal stuff too much.
Yeah,
everybody's listening in. So everybody out there, just say a couple prayers for Carlos right now as he's figuring out how to do and take his meds and get a doctor and make sure everything is kosher.
Yes.
So that you can take care of that.
Because it's almost gone. And I'm just going, yay, praise the Lord, amen.
Right on. And you're such a spiritual person. That's the other thing I love about you, you know. And I think that love and church, spirituality, and faith are all connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no hate. Hate is the worst. I sit there and I go, yeah, how can you hate somebody that Jesus created, you know? Yeah. And he's such a wonderful person. And I didn't realize for a while that he was the man, you know? He was the one that, I mean, if you ever get a chance to watch Chosen, Chosen is so wonderful. I mean, it tells you how Jesus was, it disciples, and it, you know, you could read it from the book, but when you see it actually happening, you go, oh my gosh, he was such a wonderful person.
Yes.
And that I watch it all the time. If there's nothing on TV, I go back to Chosen.
Right on. How many series now? What are they into?
Well, they're still on series. It's 4 seasons.
4 seasons.
Yes, and I've seen all 4 seasons. I don't know how many times, but
is that on Netflix?
No, it's on Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. Okay, so the listeners out there, if you're thinking, oh man, this would be a great show to watch or a series, go to Amazon, click on The Chosen.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you're up to 4 seasons.
Yeah, and they're working on 5, so it's coming, but they're still working on it.
Yep. Yeah, there was a group of us that went down to Crescent City to watch Chosen. You were part of us that did that. Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that was wonderful. And then I realized that was just a part of that 4th season. And watching the whole season, you just get so much more. I mean, for me, I have a hard time retaining from the book. And so
meaning the Bible?
Yeah, from the Bible. And when I see it on picture or on film or acting, it helps me understand who is and how Jesus worked with them.
Yep.
You know.
And all the characters involved.
Oh, yes.
All the people that became his friends or were friends or betrayed him or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yep. What a great man. What a great story, you know. And aren't we, and aren't you, and I think you are, you're Jesus in our world today in 2025, Carlos. You're doing so many of the things that Jesus did to help people. And, you know, and you told me the other day that, you know, it was wonderful for you to go help clean up the homeless camps in town. You know, and a lot of people out there think, oh my gosh, those homeless people, we need to get rid of them. We need to put them on an island. We need to move them out of town. As Jesus said, we're always going to have the poor with us.
Right.
But how do we deal with that? How do we communicate with them? How do we treat them? And the way that you did that is you helped clean up. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, Bernie was the one that really got us involved, and our pastor, and he said he needed people with trucks or vehicles that can haul this stuff away. And so I said, I'm there, man. And so there was about 8 of us that showed up with trucks, and we just started loading it up and taking it over to Carbonville and dumping it out. And I was just going, man, what a wonderful thing to help the homeless They're struggling, trying to figure things out.
They're unhoused.
Yeah.
So, and maybe they're living in a car. Maybe they're living in a tent. And doesn't matter where they live, but it's all of our responsibilities to see what we can do to help that. They just did a film showing at the library the other day about the number of seniors that are unhoused or homeless. And it's just going to grow exponentially in the next 10, 20 years. Yes. So we as a community, that would be something we can look at and saying, hey, what can be a 10-year, 15-year plan for how we can get more housing for people that are going to be needing it, let alone the ones now that need it.
Yeah, I think about the people that are sleeping out there in the cold. You know how cold it is.
Yeah.
It's snowing. I just go, I admire them in a way for being so strong enough to handle it. But I just go, man, I would not want to be out there, trying to stay warm in frigid conditions.
Exactly.
And then knowing that I might not have food or a shower or anywhere to get warm.
And we have some solutions, don't we?
Yeah.
We have some solutions.
The church.
Would you believe how fast this time is going? We are down to like 30 seconds, Carlos.
Wow.
Can you give a quick little final comments about anything to do with showing love? What would you tell our listeners in 30 seconds?
Please don't hate. Until you know the whole condition, try to show love. They're a member of this community. You never know who it's going to be.
Excellent. Yeah. That's wise right there. I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's like, where does the time go? And you hit the nail on the head. We are all part of this community. Yes. All of us are. So listeners, thank you for joining us today on the Joyously Free Radio Show. We hope you've been inspired, challenged, and have enjoyed some of Carlos's tips that bring hope, love, and joy. It's been my honor as none better, Joanie Lindenmeyer, to have you join us today. We thank Tom Bozak, Mike Gorse, Candace Rose, and the entire team at KCIW 100.7 FM for helping us. We also want to remind you that, if you want to get a hold of Carlos or myself, you can contact KCIW, or you can contact where I am an author at twosisterswriting.com. And we look forward to having you communicate with us, keep the conversations going, and letting you know that our final thoughts and blessings are be the best you can, be the most loving person you can. And as Carlos said, we all are a part of this community. Smile today, wear bright colors, and have big, big hugs from Carlos and me.
Yes.
Happy day.
And if you need to find love, St. Tim at a church. If you go to St. Tim's, it's such a wonderful place.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you, Carlos.
Okay, you're welcome, Joni.